All right, everyone. Look, my name is Daine McDonald. I'm the founder and CEO of Clean Health. We're one of the largest online fitness education providers in the world, having educated over 50,000 PTs. But we've also done over 250,000 PT sessions through our gyms. So we know what it's like to live in your shoes. And today I want to talk to you guys about how to become a subject matter expert so that you can dominate your niche and start drawing more organic traffic and leads into your business without having to spend a crap ton on paid advertising. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, stay tuned. But before you do that, make sure you click the like button below, subscribe, send us through any feedback or comments, and I'll see you on the other side. Now, so section 2 is become a subject matter expert. So I kind of touched base on this a little bit just now, but I'm going to really deep dive into it because, like, at the end of the day, clean health, the clean health that you guys are studying with and have learned from us on, it was built off first myself and then different team members that have come on and worked within the company over the years being experts at what they did, right? So, what are we going to look at here? Well, first thing is I want to help you guys solve your ideal client's desire to goal continuum. So we'll get into what that actually means in a moment. I want to help you develop the skill set to become an industry leader. And then not the most important, but one of the most important ones there is I want to help you convert clients before the sales cycle even begins. And that's a big one because I think when you speak from a place of confidence, when you have a track record of getting results, when you start speaking with a client, they're going to see the difference between you and Trainer B, right? And like one of the reasons or ways that I've been so effective with sales is because I understand the skill or the knowledge that I'm selling, right? So like I'm not just selling sessions, I'm not just selling reps, I'm selling the complete package, which we'll get into a bit after. So key one here is you need to have a point of difference as a trainer these days. And there's a few ways that you can do that. Okay. I mean, obviously, you can be very good at marketing and have a very, outgoing and charismatic personality. That's one way, but generally that doesn't last. That's kind of what you call the overnight successes. And I've seen a lot of those over the years. Or the other way you can do it, which is what I'm going to recommend and what we recommend at Clean Health, is that you can actually become good at what you do, right? And to do that, you actually need to, spend a bit of time with that. So I've got a 6-step process that you can use to create a competitive advantage between you and the trainer next door. So the first thing you need to look at is you need to define the niche genre that you want to work with, right? And get real clear on this. So, what skill category requirement does your client niche fall under? So, for example, are they Gen Pop fat loss, right? If that's the case, you're going to need to level up your ability to coach, technique, nutrition, training, mindset. That's a big one. Like if you look at even over the last few years, in particular, last 2-3 years of COVID and stuff like that, there's a lot more anxiety. There's a lot more mental health issues, right? So the mindset and the after hours care is even more important today than it was before. The other one is how will you service them? So is it going to be in person, online? Is it going to be both? What is it going to be? So again, I've put there, think WWWH. So again, that is what we spoke about before. The what, the why, the what, the when, the why, and the how, right? So what does your client want, right? So if it's a Gen Pop client, they want to lose body fat. When do they want it by? Like yesterday, right? Why do they want it? Well, because they feel ashamed of how they've gotten, or in terms of how they look now. They don't feel comfortable at the beach. They don't have energy to play with the kids anymore, etc. Well, how are they going to get it? Well, obviously, they can try and do it themselves over 12, 24 months, but how's that been working for them? Probably not well. Or they can come and work with you for a few months, 12, 24 weeks, and kind of get all that done in that period of time. So again, with that, there's actually a template that we'll send to you guys after this. I actually created a niche building template where, we basically look at the description, right, the avatar, the method of delivery, the location. It's a 5-page template. So I'll send that out to you guys after this so that you get access to that and use it yourself. So that you've got that there as a tool. But it's super critical because I think once you understand, the demographic, the age, the gender, the socioeconomic status, and all that type of stuff, it helps you visualize and crystallize that, like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what who I want to work with. Now, what do I need to invest my time and maybe even money into in regards to learning more around that? And that step 2, that learn more to earn more. So, I mean, look, that was it's probably been the most valuable lesson to date that I've learned in my career from, again, I've spoken about him already, Charles Poliquin, rest in peace. Because ultimately, like, your mind in business and in life is your most important asset, right? And, the right mentor can really, there's some stuff with Charles actually. So, like, the right mentor can really 10x your career in 6, 12, 24 months. Like, I really can't understate that enough. Like, clean health. We would not have clean health today had I not met Charles Poliquin. Like, he was the guy that gave me clarity and vision on, where I wanted to take myself. And hopefully for some of you guys today, this presentation is like triggering some of the same stuff for you as well. Okay. So, I mean, look, today there's so many different people to learn from, like, compared to yesteryear, 5-10 years ago. Training, you've got Brett Contreras, Stefan ANF, Jackson Pios, nutrition, you've got online coaching, strength and conditioning, mindset, business, like, honestly, like, there's so many different options to learn from today. And you know what? The great thing is that you don't actually have to pay for it. Like, you guys are learning right now for free. This is normally something that, if people are working with me one-on-one and stuff like that, it can be quite expensive in terms of the investment because, time is money, as they say. But the reality is you've got lots of options these days to learn more. Now, this one's an important one, actually. It's like, how much and what should I invest in? So I like to break this down into 3 time periods. It's like year 0 to 3, you should really just be focusing on skill stacking, the skills you need to solve your niche's problem. So again, we'll stay on the example of Gen Pop. They need to lose body fat. Cool. So you should be investing, all of your, well, not all of your time. You should probably be investing about 20%, ideally 10 to 20% of your income into learning in that area. The people that obviously have gotten further ahead are doing more towards the 20%, but I think a 10% should at least be a bare minimum for you. And look, you might not have those funds at hand, so you might just apply the same level of time and do things via YouTube or Instagram, etc. That's great too. But years 0 to 3 should be about 80% focusing on, or 80 to 90% focusing on your skills that you need. And then the other 10% really is, maybe a little bit on business, right? Years 3 to 9, it should be more 50-50. Like, one thing, if I could go back in time, I spent the first 10 years literally just focusing on everything in regards to training, right? So training, nutrition, strength and conditioning, whatever it might be. I did nothing on business. Now, that worked out well because I increased my skills, got results, my staff got results, we grew our reputation, people saw us as subject matter experts, and we generated a business that way. However, I left a lot of knowledge on the table and skills around business, around marketing, around sales that I could have brought with me throughout that time that probably would have lessened some of the hard lessons that I learned, which I went through at the beginning of today. And then years 10 plus, like, honestly, 10 years in, unless you are like a Lane Norton or a Sebastian Oreb, where you are like the face of your brand, it should be like 80% on business, 20% on, maintaining your knowledge around nutrition and training and stuff like that. Because, like, the reality is, like, things don't change that much. Like, with nutrition and training, like, there, low carb will be in vogue, low carb won't be in vogue. If it fits in your macros, will be in vogue. Now it won't be. So, like, things do change to a certain extent, but not as much where you need to maintain the same level of intensity around nutrition and training. So I would definitely like year 10 onwards. And hey, congratulations, by the way, for year 10 onwards. But year 10 onwards, your focus should be on your business, primarily, first and foremost. All right. So that's kind of the ratio that I didn't do myself. But if I could go back in time, I would do now. The other one is practically apply knowledge. Like, don't become like a course spectator. So what I mean by that is, don't be someone that just invests into all these courses, does all this study, but then actually doesn't apply it with clients, right? Because like at the end of the day, knowledge unapplied is meaningless. So it's like you can be. I know some amazing, like really smart scientific guys, but they don't actually have businesses because they haven't really applied all of the information, right? So you're better off being like if I use the karate analogy, you're better off being a brown belt in terms of skills and then a brown belt in like experience than being a second and black belt in terms of skills and then a yellow belt in terms of experience, right? You want the skills and the experience to marry up. And 40 hours per week is not full-time work. Hey, look, that's my opinion. It might be for you, but like honestly, anyone that I know in any industry, in any aspect of my life that has been successful, um, does not work 40 hours a week. And, when people are selling you the 4-hour work week and all that, like, honestly, it's a crock of shit. um, like like I said, at my age now, I've been doing this for 20 years. I obviously, earn more money today than I did 10, 20 years ago, but I actually work more today, or not more, but I work around the same now as I did 10 years ago. It's different, and it's because I enjoy it. So I think like it's different for everyone in terms of like what their, you know, what they feel full-time work is. But to me, 40 hours per week is not full-time work. So like if you want to do that, that's fine. But just understand that at 40 hours a week of work, that it might take you longer to get from point A to point B. There's that saying that I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson says is be the hardest worker in the room. And I'm a big believer in that. The fifth one is like choose the learning medium. So we touched base on this before. Like you've obviously got paid learning, free learning. There's just so many options today. I mean, look, even with us, free learning at Clean Health, you've got our YouTube channel. We put videos up on that every day. You've got our Facebook student group where we put content out on that every day. You get live webinars like what we're doing now with different industry experts. And you've got podcasts. Like you technically as a trainer today with companies like us and different people out there like Lane Norton, Brick Contreras and things like that, you can skill stack quite high just learning for free. However, in saying that, and I know that from what we do, you're always going to find a higher level of quality and information when you go into buying something. And I think as well, when you pay for something, like you have more skin in the game, you're more likely going to sit down, concentrate, and be focused with what you're doing. Okay. And with this one, it's like allocate weekly study time. So like I limit random learning. So what I mean by that is I have times booked out in my diary 3 times per week where basically I do bolus learning. All right. Where I'll do 4 or 5 hour blocks where I'll just study. Now that might not work with your schedule. My schedule is, pretty much I do what I want when I want. So I can do that. For you, it might mean that you just do an hour every night or 90 minutes every night, whatever. But like however you do it, I think book it in as an appointment the same way that you would with the PT session or the same way you would with your own training. And then with that, I've put here like bonus hacks for retaining information, kind of like what we're learning today too, is like take notes and summarize teachings into 3 or 5 key takeaways per topic. We just went through maybe, 10 key action points. You're probably not going to remember them all, but pick 3 that really resonate with you, write them down and focus in on that, right? The other one is focus on one skill deficiency competency at a time. So let's just say, again, we use the Gen Pop example. You realize that to get the transformations and build the brand that you need to level up your nutrition and training, focus on your nutrition first, right? because actually nutrition in that concept is going to get you a quicker return on investment and better results for your client quicker than the training. Because as we all know, you can fix a client's diet in a week and they might lose, a few pounds or a few kilos. Whereas if you fix someone's training in a week, they're probably not going to have the same effect. So I always focus on the skill deficiency that's going to get a quicker return, because the quicker return, the better result for your client. Book your learning in like you would with your client. As I said, do one course genre at a time. And I actually recommend, and kind of contradicts what I said before about doing it in the evening, but if you can, do it before 2 p.m. whilst your concentration is higher. So like any study that I need to do personally for me, I find before 2 p.m. works best, because I'm fresher. I've had, less crap come in throughout the day. And I find I can focus in a bit better. Like, if you've been up since 4:30 a.m. and you're going to do your study at 8 o'clock at night, compared to doing it at 6 o'clock in the morning, I mean, I don't know, use common sense. Which one is probably going to lead to a higher retention of information? It's going to be the earlier one. So, conclusion: investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make. Like, I can't overstate that enough. I mean, even with me, I realized in the last 9 months that for me to take my business to the next level, I needed to do some more development around sales and marketing. So I went and invested with two of the top people in the world in sales and in marketing, to do that. So, even though I'm not applying that as a trainer right now, it's still the same principle. I'm applying the same principle that I was doing as a trainer 5 years ago, 10 years ago, today as the CEO of the company, right? Every leader in our industry has invested six figures into themselves. So, like, I don't know any industry leader in any industry really, but definitely in fitness, that hasn't invested at least six figures into themselves over a 10, 15-year time frame. Now, I'm not saying that's a prerequisite, but just from my personal experience, if I look at people like Mark Carroll, Lane Norton, Sebastian Oreb, Brett Contreras, all these people that we're talking about, they've spent a lot of time and money. And obviously leveling up will shorten your time frame to, whether it's earning six figures or even earning a few $1,000s a month, like wherever you're at in your stage of your business, maybe even earning, seven figures per annum or eight, whatever it is. Leveling up your skill set will shorten the time frame it takes to reach your income goals. Okay, so that wraps up lesson 2.